Hello, welcome to Code.org tutorial number 1, Coding a Calculator. Today I will walk you through step by step how to code a functional basic calculator using Code.org's App Lab. So this is what the calculator would look like. You can do it any way you like, but this is how I made mine with the tutorial description and everything. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay. So first, log on to Code.org and go to Projects. You can do it by going here and click on My Projects. Next, you want to scroll down and find App Lab. Then click on this button. You can name the project anything you would like, but personally I will just name it Calculator for conveniency. And then go to this Design button. And first, what you would want to add is 4 images, and you can just do one and duplicate it so it's the same exact size every single time. Spread them around a little bit, and then what you want to do is name this. You don't have to, but personally it's better because it's easier to keep track. Okay, next you want to click on the image, and then click on Image, choose Icons, and type in add or plus, subtract, okay, minus instead of subtract, and then I'm assuming times instead of, yep. And then the last one is this one. Then you can arrange them in any order you'd like, it does not matter. Okay, so because this is a tutorial, we will not be focusing on the aesthetic, we will just making sure it works. Okay, and then you want 2 buttons, one for number 1 and one for number 2. Num1, and name the second one num2. Name your button anything, or you can just keep it, but I'll make it calculate just for the conveniency. Okay, now we will be getting into the coding part to make this actually functional, because if you run this right now, you can input stuff, none of this will be working, unlike this calculator right here. So first, you want to create 2 variables. Actually, let me change something real quick. You don't need this. Okay, but you will need label. Okay, perfect. So first, you would need 3 variables. Variable number 1, set it to 0. Number 2, set it to 0 as well. And then variable answer. And you guessed it, set it to 0. These variables will keep track of the numbers that you input, and then it would allow you to add both of the numbers up to get this final answer. So these are very important. Do not miss this step. Okay, so now we will be coding these buttons. For this one, as you can see, every single time you click and there's numbers inputted, it will show a value. So the on event is within the button itself, and it's not within any other external buttons. So what you want to do is create a function called onEvent, type that in, and then since you named all these signs, you can just click on this, and then you can do that, click, and then type in function, parentheses, and then the brackets, and then make sure you have your semicolons. So what you want to do is, first, we have to make these 2 numbers have a value, a numerical value. So in order to do that, we have to make the variables into something else. So instead of having num1 equals 0, you would do num1 equals getNumber, and then you would find num1, which is this text box. So every single time someone enters in this value and you click this button, it would automatically take the value from this text box and then change it to num1. And then you would have to do the same thing for number 2. Num2 equals get number num2. Now we have to find a way to add them. So we would have to do answer equals num1 plus num2. And then you can set text, which will be the output showing the result. Set text, what is this called? Label 1, answer. And because we have num1 and num2 value, we have to add them together. And in order to add them together, we would have to combine them into a separate variable, which is answer. So when you do num1 plus num2, it would be added together, and then it would showcase answer on this text box right here. Let's test it out. Okay, it's working. That's great. Next, we have to do the same thing for the other signs as well. Okay, so what you want to do is another onEvent function, and since this is a calculator app, this is very simple, and all of your functions will be onEvent. Now we can do minus. You can do click, and then you can type in function with the brackets, basically the exact same thing. And then you can copy and paste this. Answer will okay, so this time answer will not equal number 1 plus number 2. It would be number 1 minus number 2. Answer equals number 1 minus number 2. And then set text label 1 answer. Okay. Now we need, oh, oops, okay. We can test this one out as well. 100 minus 10. This would be 90. That's perfect. Okay, now we want to do the same thing for the last two, and I will just speedrun it real quick. Also, there's a very common mistake that people tend to do when they're coding like a calculator, and you don't want to do something like this. Because when you do something like this, I'll show you what happens. So see, it won't actually show the values. Instead, it will only show these two names. So that's not something you want to do. So refrain from doing that. When you remove the quotation marks, these are just numbers, numerical values that will be added or subtracted or anything, whatever you're doing. Oh, this is adding. Let me change it real quick. Okay. And now the last one. Okay, now since everything is working, we can share this and then let's try it on the big screen. This is our app, our glorious calculator. Hopefully it works. So let's do some easy mental math that we can solve. 12 plus 2. 14, that's correct. 12 times 2. 24. 12 divided by 2, which is 6. And then this should be 10. Okay, so now everything is working. This is your calculator and it's your finished product. If you want to go back in and change anything to make it more beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, go ahead. So thank you for watching my tutorial. I hope this helped you code and get more experience at coding. Thank you and have a good day.